So as we talk about avoiding socially awkward introductions, let me invert this. The inversion is simply making a good first impression. Our research is very, very clear. When you're out there socially, first impressions are everything, and there's two key impact factors for making that good first impression. The number one is your presence, your personal presence. It's the number one impact factor. That's your gravitas. And then that's followed by people skills. So the reason I want to make this video is to talk a little bit more about personal presence, about gravitas. It's sort of a soft area that's really hard to understand. It's who you are, basically. When you walk into a social environment, you see, if you're a bit nervous and you tend to twitch around a little bit, you're moving too much, that's not good gravitas. You want to walk slowly. Eye contact, if your eyes are darting around, not good gravitas, not good personal presence. If you're talking too much, a lot of people talk too much when they're nervous, or they talk loudly, or they laugh inappropriately. They're laughing too much, or they think they have to be the life of the party. Again, not good personal presence. Your body language, your posture. See, we're all forms of energy, and people instinctively look for good, constructive energy. So take care of your breathing, your diaphragmatic breathing before you walk into a social environment. Move slowly. Make good eye contact. You don't have to be ramrod straight like you're in the military, but good, comfortable, strong posture. And all of this counts. Also, your dress, your attire. I mean, you want to dress for success. Personal hygiene is an important factor. So if you're at a upscale, dressed up social function, dress up. If you're at a business casual function, make sure your business casual is good, is strong, your shoes are shined, you're paying attention to the accessories, the details. Now, when it comes to people skills, this is talking. This is now, you're getting introduced. And whether your personal presence is good or bad, as I said in the article, you're still going to be introduced. And if you work on your personal presence, you will improve it. You know, it's a little bit linked to charisma, but charisma, there's sort of an attitude, either you have it or you don't. You can improve everyone. We coach to personal presence. You can strengthen your personal presence, as well as you can improve your people skills. And this starts with being introduced. So you're being introduced. The handshake, a good handshake, a firm handshake, not too hard, not the fish shake, good eye contact, and a simple Matt Oxley, nice to see you, and then pause. That's good. Not Matt Oxley, president of the Oxley Institute, the number one performance coaching firm in the financial services industry. That's horrible. Or, Matt Oxley, senior vice president at XYZ wealth management firm. Again, that's the title brag. The affluent hate the title brag. Or your value proposition, that disingenuous, financial pledge of allegiance. It's all unnecessary and it hurts. The good personal introduction is just your name, a good handshake, and good to see you. Good to see I'm seeing you, or I'm good to meet you if you want to use the word, but I prefer good to see you. And then you pause. Now, from that pause, you want to focus back on them. The most important person of the moment is the person you are being introduced to, not yourself. And by understanding this, you control the situation. So if you've been introduced by a client, your simple redirect can simply be, so how long have the two of you been knowing each other? And you're going to get a little context. They're going to give you some information. If it's somebody you've been introduced to cold and you have no background on that person, maybe then you go to the event. So how did you get involved with this particular fundraiser? But the whole idea here is you want to focus on the person you've been introduced to, and you want them talking about their favorite subject, which is themselves. And it's very easy to do if you ask a question. And the whole idea is you're asking the question, you're being conversational, you're being concise, you're not talking very much at all. But when you ask that question, you're listening. And also, when it comes to the personal introduction, be very aware of personal spacing. Nobody likes a close talker. Now, then, if appropriate, you're looking for a social follow-up. And what do I mean if it's appropriate? Well, if this person qualifies, meets your qualifications as a potential client, obviously you want to develop a relationship. Now, it's inappropriate to just jump right into a business conversation. And if that happens, fine. But very few people are going to do business with somebody before they get to know them, not the affluent. They're not going. They need to get to know you. They're not going to do business with you just because they were introduced to you at a social setting. So your objective there is by listening, you sort of understand what they're into, what they like to do, and then you very, very thoughtfully are suggesting maybe a follow-up social interaction. Now, you can circle back later on during that social event and make that suggestion. And if you've been introduced by a client, you have a little bit of background there and you know a little bit about what this person likes to do socially, and it makes it a little easier because then you can suggest something that the three of you do as individuals or three couples. But the social follow-up is key when it comes to the personal introduction by a client to a qualified prospect. It's also important when you're being introduced to somebody, some power broker who you've never met before, and you think this person might be someone that would be, advantageous for you to get to know. So there you have it. The good first impression in a social setting, it's framed with your personal presence, your gravitas. So control your breathing, slow it down, make good eye contact, be very cognizant of your body language, and the people skills are inextricably linked to your presence. So, don't talk too much. Have some questions, focus on the other people, be very interested in them. There's always going to be time for you to talk about what you do and how you do what you do. If you build trust with these people, if you begin to build that relationship, that will come. And always look to do something social as a follow-up if, and this is the big if, they qualify. Now, make sure you practice. This requires practice. Practice with your coach. Practice with your spouse. Have a signal with your spouse when your spouse catches you talking too much or talking too loudly or laughing too loudly or being sort of a wallflower in the corner, and not even mingling with anybody. Have that signal because you can improve your personal presence where all energy forms and energy counts. So make that good first impression and make those personal introductions profitable. Bye for now.